In the years after the European settlement of Australia, many people climbed aboard ships to come here to live. Some were lucky enough to sail in first or second class, but for the poor people relegated to third class, life was pretty tough. Here's Tash to show us just how tough.
Everything is putrid, everything is filth, everything is horrid, and it's like this every day.
Ew! Welcome to the South Australian Maritime Museum, where these kids are learning in graphic detail what it would have been like to travel to Australia by ship hundreds of years ago. First, living conditions. Down at the bottom of the ship was where third-class passengers slept in bunks. It was often dark, hot, uncomfortable, and there wasn't any fresh air.
Families would often have to share beds, and there would be things like rats and cockroaches running all around. Ew. Yuck. Yeah.
On the boats, the toilets were like this, and they were pretty gross.
A water closet was only for women and children. The males, so the men and the boys, went off the heads or the bow of the ship.
And forget toilet paper, everyone had to share a rag soaked in vinegar. Conditions at sea weren't always the best, with storms and big waves. This led to seasickness. These guys got a smell of what that was like.
Oh, okay, yep, I'm gone. Oh yeah, that's horrible.
On board, most passengers only got salted meat and biscuits for dinner. That left many of them with a disease called scurvy.
Does anyone know anything about scurvy?
It's when you don't eat any fresh food on the ship, like fruits and things.
Yeah, so it's a lack of vitamin C.
Without that vitamin C, people felt weak, found it hard to breathe, and they sometimes lost their teeth.
And then...
Another disease they had to deal with was gangrene. That's when part of your body dies because it's not getting enough blood. To stop it getting worse, they would use saws like this to chop off limbs.
And how gross is this? Live leeches like this little one here were used in something called bloodletting.
Some believed that by allowing the leeches to suck the blood of a sick patient, it would help them. Not surprisingly, long voyages weren't a particularly safe way to get around. Some historians estimate around 1 in 5 kids and 1 in 60 adults never made it to Australia. It's pretty obvious that travelling on a ship back then wasn't easy. But learning about it made all these kids realise how lucky we are today.
I'm really lucky because they had all these diseases that were carried by water, and the rats dropping in the water really didn't help at all. We also learnt about the sicknesses, like your arms go blue and then you poo yourself to death, which is pretty gross.
Well, smelling vomit and all that disgusting sort of stuff, that would be very bad to smell, and we're pretty lucky to not have to smell it today, but yeah, they were very unlucky to have to smell that all the time.